Have you ever wondered if being gentle with everyone is always the right path? In a world where kindness, compassion, and understanding are often celebrated as the highest virtues, it may feel unsettling to imagine that gentleness alone is not enough. Yet within the timeless wisdom of Buddhism, we find a deeper, more balanced perspective. The Buddha, a seeker who devoted his life to uncovering the truths of human suffering and liberation, taught that true compassion is not always soft. It is wise, discerning, and transformative. Over 2,500 years ago, Siddhartha Gautama set out on a profound journey to uncover the root of suffering and the way to lasting peace. Through his enlightenment, he revealed the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, offering humanity a clear and practical map for inner freedom. His teachings remind us that while kindness is essential, it must be guided by wisdom if we are to cultivate authentic peace and genuine growth. In this reflection, we will explore why Buddhism encourages us to go beyond mere gentleness, embracing a more complete understanding of compassion that nurtures both ourselves and those around us. Understanding the Four Noble Truths. The Four Noble Truths are the heart of the Buddha's teaching. They are not abstract ideas, but a practical guide for understanding life's difficulties and discovering a path toward freedom and peace. Let us gently explore each truth and reflect on its timeless relevance. The first noble truth, the truth of suffering, dukkha. Buddha began with a simple yet profound observation. Life involves suffering. This suffering is not limited to physical pain. It also includes emotional restlessness, dissatisfaction, and the subtle sense that something is always missing. By acknowledging suffering instead of avoiding it, we open the door to wisdom. Recognizing its presence allows us to face life honestly and with compassion, both for ourselves and others. The second noble truth, the truth of the cause of suffering, samudaya. Buddha explained that the root of suffering lies in craving and attachment. We cling to pleasure, resist discomfort, and constantly chase after things we believe will make us whole. Yet this endless grasping only deepens our unrest. Sometimes, even being overly accommodating or seeking everyone's approval can be a form of attachment. True freedom comes not from pleasing others, but from letting go of clinging and cultivating balance in the heart. The third noble truth, the truth of the cessation of suffering, nirodha. There is hope. The Buddha assures us that suffering can cease. When we release attachment and craving, the restless cycle quiets and peace naturally arises. This cessation is not an escape from life, but a deeper way of living, free from the chains of constant wanting. It is a reminder that liberation is possible here and now, in the very midst of daily life. The fourth noble truth, the truth of the path to the cessation of suffering, magga. The Buddha offered a clear path to freedom, the Noble Eightfold Path. It is a gentle but disciplined way of living that cultivates wisdom, ethical conduct, and mindful awareness. Right view and right intention guide our understanding. Right speech, right action, and right livelihood shape our conduct. Right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration strengthen our inner clarity. Together, these principles form a path of balance, not extreme gentleness nor harshness, but wisdom guided by compassion. Walking this path, we learn to live with understanding, courage, and a peace that does not depend on circumstances. Walking the middle way. The middle way is one of the most essential teachings of the Buddha. It is the path of balance, guiding us to avoid extremes and live with wisdom and clarity. Before his enlightenment, the Buddha experienced both sides of life, first as a prince surrounded by luxury, and later as an ascetic practicing severe self-denial. Neither indulgence nor hardship brought peace. True awakening came only when he discovered the middle way, a balanced path that nurtures both body and mind without clinging to extremes. In daily life, the middle way reminds us to meet others with compassion, yet also with discernment. To be endlessly gentle may allow harmful patterns to continue. To be overly harsh may bring unnecessary pain. The middle way teaches us to respond with wisdom, offering kindness while also setting clear boundaries. It is a path of harmony, where compassion and clarity walk together, leading us closer to peace and freedom. Compassion and the wisdom of boundaries. In Buddhist practice, compassion is a guiding light. Yet, compassion is often misunderstood. True compassion does not mean tolerating harm, nor does it require us to sacrifice our well-being for the comfort of others. Instead, the Buddha taught that genuine compassion arises from wisdom. It is the ability to see clearly the roots of suffering and respond in a way that helps bring freedom, not by enabling harmful patterns, but by guiding others and ourselves toward healing. This distinction between compassion and enabling is vital. To enable is to allow harmful behavior to continue unchecked, often out of fear, attachment, or a desire to avoid conflict. Compassion, however, looks deeper. It seeks to alleviate suffering at its cause, even when that requires difficult truths or firm boundaries. The Buddha illustrated this principle through the parable of the raft. In the story, a traveler builds a raft to cross a dangerous river. Once safely on the far shore, he recognizes the raft's value, but he does not carry it with him. The raft served its purpose, and now it can be left behind. In the same way, Buddhist teachings themselves are not meant to be clung to. They are skillful means, tools for crossing the river of suffering and ignorance. Once they have served their purpose, we let them go. Our approach to compassion can be understood in the same light. At times, gentleness is the raft. It supports, soothes, and guides others through their struggles. But if we cling to gentleness in every situation, it may become a burden, preventing growth or allowing harm. In those moments, wisdom asks us to set aside excessive softness and act with discernment. This is not a rejection of compassion, but its truest expression. Compassion guided by wisdom knows when to comfort and when to challenge, when to yield and when to stand firm. By balancing kindness with clarity, we honor both our own well-being and the path of those around us. In this balance, compassion is no longer enabling. It becomes a powerful force for genuine freedom and peace. Living the middle path. The Buddha's teaching of the middle path is more than a philosophy. It is a practical guide for daily living. It reminds us to avoid extremes and approach life with balance, wisdom, and compassion. Let us reflect on a few ways this principle can be applied in everyday situations. Setting boundaries. In relationships, kindness and accommodation are important, yet so is self-care. The middle path teaches us that setting boundaries is not a rejection of compassion, but an expression of wisdom. By protecting our well-being, we create healthier connections and foster genuine respect. Boundaries allow compassion to flourish without being clouded by exhaustion or resentment. Responding to harmful behavior. When others act in harmful ways, the middle path guides us to respond with clarity and compassion. This might mean addressing the behavior directly, encouraging positive change, or seeking help when necessary. We avoid extremes, neither responding with harshness nor enabling destructive actions. Instead, we act with discernment, aiming to reduce suffering for all involved. Navigating conflicts. Conflict is a natural part of human life. The middle path teaches us not to suppress disagreements or pretend everything is well. Instead, it invites us to approach conflict mindfully, with patience and openness. Through active listening and thoughtful dialogue, we can move beyond superficial harmony toward genuine understanding. The middle path is not about choosing comfort over challenge. It is about balance, living with compassion, clarity, and the courage to act wisely. By applying this principle in our daily lives, we walk a path that nurtures both peace within and harmony with others. The mustard seed and the truth of suffering. Among the Buddha's most moving stories is the parable of the mustard seed. It begins with a grieving mother who has lost her child. Stricken by sorrow, she turns to the Buddha for help, desperate to find a way out of her pain. The Buddha listens with compassion and gently offers a task: bring a single mustard seed from a household untouched by death. With hope in her heart, she sets out, knocking on door after door. Yet in every home she visits, she hears the same story. Each family has faced loss, each has tasted grief. The woman soon realizes that no house is free from suffering. She returns to the Buddha, not with a seed, but with a new understanding. Sorrow and death are universal, woven into the fabric of human life. The lesson of this parable is profound. Suffering is not a punishment, nor is it unique to a few. It is an inseparable part of existence. To live is to encounter loss, yet in recognizing this shared truth, we open the way to wisdom and compassion. This story also reminds us that comfort alone cannot remove the roots of suffering. Gentleness may soothe the heart for a moment, but it does not answer the deeper questions of life and death. The Buddha's teaching goes further, guiding us to face suffering directly, to understand its causes, and to walk the path that leads beyond it. In this way, the parable of the mustard seed offers more than consolation. It offers perspective. By seeing that no one is alone in their grief, we learn that true healing comes not from denying suffering, but from transforming it with wisdom and compassion. Skillful means and the wisdom of impermanence. In Buddhism, the path to wisdom is not a rigid set of rules, but a living practice that adapts to the needs of each moment. Two profound teachings, skillful means and impermanence, offer guidance on how to relate to ourselves and others with clarity, compassion, and balance. Skillful means, or upaya, is the Buddha's way of teaching through methods suited to each individual. Rather than applying a single approach to every situation, skillful means remind us that compassion must be flexible. At times, compassion may take the form of gentle encouragement, offering comfort to someone in pain. At other times, it may require direct honesty or firm boundaries to prevent harm. This is not a contradiction, but a reflection of wisdom, tailoring our actions to the unique conditions before us. Recognizing individual differences is central to this practice. Each person walks their own path, shaped by different experiences and needs. A gentle word may heal one person, while another may grow only through firm guidance. By listening deeply and practicing empathy, we learn how to respond in ways that truly support growth without losing sight of our own well-being. Skillful means, then, is compassion in action, adaptable, wise, and always attuned to the greater good. Alongside skillful means is the teaching of impermanence, the understanding that all things, our emotions, relationships, and even our struggles, are constantly changing. Emotions rise and fall like waves. If we cling too tightly to them, responding with either excessive gentleness or unnecessary harshness, we create instability. Seeing emotions as impermanent allows us to meet them with balance and equanimity. The same is true for relationships. Even the most cherished connections evolve with time. People change, circumstances shift, and no relationship remains exactly as it once was. By embracing impermanence, we learn to appreciate each moment of connection fully while preparing our hearts for the natural flow of change. Impermanence also teaches us the art of letting go. To cling rigidly to being gentle in every situation or harsh in every situation is to resist the truth of change. Instead, we can approach life with openness and adaptability, meeting each moment as it is, not as we wish it to be. Together, skillful means and impermanence guide us to live wisely, compassionate yet discerning, appreciative yet unattached, fully present yet free. Mindfulness and the practice of self-compassion. Mindfulness is at the heart of Buddhist practice. It is the simple yet profound art of being fully present, aware of each moment without judgment. When combined with self-compassion, mindfulness becomes a powerful guide for living with balance, especially in the delicate practice of not being overly gentle with everyone. Mindfulness reminds us that compassion must begin within. If we are always gentle toward others but neglect our own well-being, we risk exhaustion and imbalance. Self-compassion means honoring our limits, caring for our emotional needs, and treating ourselves with the same kindness we wish to offer others. This is not selfishness. It is the foundation that allows us to extend authentic compassion outward. Mindfulness also cultivates the ability to observe our thoughts and emotions without rushing to react. When faced with conflict or challenging people, this practice creates space, a pause between impulse and response. Within that pause lies wisdom. Instead of being swept away by anger, fear, or the desire to please, we respond with clarity and discernment. Through mindfulness and self-compassion, we learn to act not from habit or emotion, but from presence, wisdom, and balance. Cultivating equanimity in daily life. Equanimity, known in Buddhism as one of the Brahma Viharas or divine abodes, is the quality of steady balance in the face of life's constant changes. It is the calm center that remains unshaken, whether we encounter joy or sorrow, praise or blame, comfort or difficulty. To cultivate equanimity is to nurture a mind that does not cling to highs or resist lows, but instead rests in clarity and peace. In the context of not being gentle with everyone, equanimity becomes especially important. It does not mean withdrawing into indifference, nor does it call for harshness. Instead, equanimity allows us to stay compassionate while also discerning. With this balance, we can offer kindness without enabling harm and firmness without anger. It is the spacious wisdom that guides us to respond, not react. Equanimity also deepens our understanding of true compassion. Real compassion is not limited to soft words or accommodating gestures. It is rooted in the desire to genuinely support the well-being of all beings. Sometimes that support takes the form of gentleness, and other times it requires setting boundaries or speaking difficult truths. By walking the middle way with equanimity, we honor the timeless wisdom of the Buddha. We learn to hold both gentleness and discernment in harmony, creating a compassion that is steady, transformative, and enduring. May we cultivate this balance in our hearts, and through it bring greater peace to ourselves and to the world. As we reflect on the Buddha's timeless teachings, we see that true compassion is not always soft. It is wise, discerning, and balanced. Being gentle with everyone may feel virtuous, but genuine peace arises when kindness is guided by clarity, mindfulness, and the courage to set boundaries. The middle way, skillful means, and equanimity remind us that compassion is most powerful when it is adaptable, rooted in understanding, and free from attachment to outcomes. If these teachings resonate with you, take a moment today to practice mindfulness, self-compassion, and discernment in your interactions. Notice where gentle kindness serves and where wise firmness is needed. If you found value in this reflection, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more insights into Buddhist wisdom and practical guidance for modern life. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a moment of clarity and peace. Walk the middle way and let your compassion transform both your life and the world around you.